Niev here, and today I have two unboxings of the Witch's Roots and the Witch's Moon for August 2021. All right, let's do the Witch's Roots first. All right, so as I always say in my previous videos, this isn't a true unboxing because I have already taken everything out of the box and put it to the side, and I'll be pulling from that. I just can't wait for a camera to be on me to start going through my new things. So it's more of a walkthrough than an unboxing, but here we go. So we always start off with a piece of paper that says the theme, which is the deepest peace, and it lists everything that is in the box. All right, so one of my favorite things with the box is the artwork that comes with it, and it's the primary reason I continue to get these boxes. I mean, the stuff that's in them is fantastic, don't get me wrong, but the artwork is just stunning. A.E. Alden, whoever, like the artist that does their artwork, they are an amazing artist. And yeah, so obviously we have this chakras art here, which is lovely. An element of my spirituality is there's a Hindu element to my spirituality, which I try to approach as respectfully as I can with the intention of being culturally appreciative instead of appropriative. So yes, obviously chakras is an element of that, so this is nice to have. Very beautiful. I love the splotch, the art style in the background with the spot, like the spattering. I love that. That's very pretty. And then we have our herb, which is white tea. That's very interesting. I'm glad to have this. This is very pretty drawing. Love it. All right, excellent. So the herb to go along with the artwork, we have white tea. I wonder if you know, this is something I could actually drink as a tea. They might say in the paperwork. I'm not sure, but there we go. All right, and we also have our stone, and it is in this beautiful bag. You know, and I looked at the name of the stone, but I already forgot it. It kind of looks like, I don't know. I was going to say aventurine, but that's not it. The stone. What is the stone? Amazonite. Amazonite heart. Used in jewelry dating back almost 4,000 years among the ancient Egyptians, Amazonite is considered a popular stone to be used within sacred and ritualistic items. An absolute stone of harmony, Amazonite is considered to be the peacekeeper. As you work and meditate with Amazonite, allow its energetic properties to align you with your highest truth. So associated with water and the heart and throat chakra, the deepest peace. So that goes along with the theme of the box. All right, and next up, so we have the incense, and this is unblock incense. It smells interesting because I just smelled it right before I turned on the camera here, and it smells almost vanilla-y. So there might be something like vanilla in this. It's not quite vanilla, but it's similar. All right, and then for the oil, we have alignment. So that makes sense with the chakras, you know, your chakra alignment. Oh, it says something and ease and alignment. So that goes along with the peace. So this box is themed around the chakras and peace. All right, so the next thing we have is, now typically, oh, this is interesting. Uh-oh, I'm dropping things, hold on. So I have, normally for the candle, we get one small beeswax candle, a little bit bigger than these. Not quite this small, because these are chime candles. But instead, we got paraffin wax chime candles, and there's 7 of them, and they correspond with the 7 chakras. You know, we've got the red for the root, we've got orange for the sacral. We've got yellow for the solar plexus, green for the heart. I'm throwing these all over the place here. Light blue for the throat, dark blue for the third eye, and purple for the crown. So that's what we've got here. So, I mean, this is very interesting that they went this direction instead of doing the beeswax candle, doing something like this. But, and I do very much like the candle holder. That's awesome. But I hope and it definitely matches with the theme of the box. But I really hope that this is just kind of a one-time thing, because I really do like their beeswax candles. So while this is great and matches with the theme of the box, I hope it's just a this box thing and not every future box we get, you know, a bunch of chime candles, because those are kind of dime a dozen. And yeah, so that's my only like with this. But I do like that it's following the theme, and I like that we have a little simple candle holder here. So that's pretty cool. All right, so the last item in this box is another necklace. And it's a goddess necklace. And, you know, if you've seen my previous unboxings for the Witch's Roots, you would know that I am quite sick of the goddess necklaces. I do like these chains a lot, because they've got a bigger, they've got the small loops and then a big loop, 3 small loops, a big loop, 3 small loops, a big loop. And I like that because then I can adjust the size of the necklace. And because I like my necklaces to be real, I'm very, very short, so I don't like my necklaces to be long. I like them to come up, you know, about right here or so. You know, I like them to be very, very short. So I do like this a lot. Now the pendant, it is a goddess type necklace, but I will say that of all the goddess necklaces I've gotten, I actually like this one the best. And so while I do wish that they would go a different direction with their necklaces, I really liked last month's necklace. I do actually kind of like this one, and I probably will wear this. And on the back it says, "I am at peace with myself and the world." And I think it matches with the box, because that was one of my criticisms in previous boxes with all the goddess necklaces. It's like sometimes I just felt like they just chucked a goddess necklace in and it didn't necessarily have anything to do with the theme of the box. But this I actually do think is very relevant to the box. It's very peace oriented. I mean, it even says the word peace in the back, and it's meditative. It's kind of like a meditation necklace, and I really like the sun and the moon and the stars in the background. So in general, I actually do like this necklace, but I do still wish they would venture off from the goddess necklaces. All right, so that is the Witch's Roots. And all right, so let's get on to the Witch's Moon. All right, the Witch's Moon. All right, so this is their main box. It's the large, it's not the, well, I guess it's the largest box they have because it has the most items, but it's kind of their mid-price box. The cheaper box is the Roots box, which is centered around herbs. The mid-size box is kind of a general, like, ritual items and it's things like that. Whereas their most expensive box, which I do not get, is centered around high-priced jewelry. So anyway, so this is the mid-size box. So we always get an oracle card, and this is custom for each person. And this is very pretty design here. I love the colors, purple and blue. And on the back, it says High Heart Chakra, so it actually goes well with the previous box. Ecstatic Bliss. This card taps into the blissful oneness we feel when, as we drop our edges in protective containers. This is the place where we feel held and seen enough to flow into oneness, where the eternal part of me meets the eternal part of you. This is the selfless state where our higher selves commune, for illuminating perspective on how we share, gift and lift others in our joyful overflow. Consider your life purpose by exploring what allows you to give in joy. All right, so that's very lovely. All right, so with this, the paperwork, we get 3 pieces of paper. I still think it should just be 2 because the first 2 pages are everything that's in the box. And the theme is the stone guide. So I say this every unboxing, but I really wish that they would do this front and back so that it would save on paper. But that's just a personal opinion there. And we always get an extra piece of paper for spell work and things like that, which I do appreciate. So I enjoy the extra piece of paper because there's actually a purpose for it. But I do wish that they would put this front and back. Just my personal opinion. All right, so the artwork for this box. So we have like this passage that we can say during a ritual, probably the autumn equinox ritual, and this says the harvest home. So I think this says the Feast of Avalon. I'm not quite sure. It's a weird font. Normally, I don't have an issue reading these fonts, actually. I know a lot of unboxers have some issues reading these fonts sometimes, but usually I can grasp what it's saying. But this one, I'm not quite sure if that says Avalon, the Feast of Avalon. But anyway, so it says the Feast of Avalon, the grand equinox, on this day of balance, both light and dark interlocks. So both light and dark interlocks. I am humbled, I am grateful for the gifts of the earth. I am calm, I am clear. Clean or clear? Clear, I am the essence of rebirth. I give thanks for the many teachings. I give thanks for the bonds. I give thanks for the healing and for the work to be done. Upon this harvest tide, I call upon the Lord and Lady to be honored and celebrated in this day of no divide. So mote it be, and this is written by G. Ibis, and the artwork, I believe, is probably by A.E. Alden. So yeah, this one, was actually a little difficult to read, and I do think that's Avalon, because it's that same V is here, and give, so that does say Avalon. Interesting. All right, and so the artwork for the stone we got is black tourmaline. Very nice. I like that. And then we have artwork for gold and silver, which is very nice. I like it. Yeah, very pretty. I like it. All right, so next up we have our black tourmaline. Very cool. I like it. It didn't come in a baggie like it normally does. It came in plastic wrap, bubble wrap. So there we go. Our oil says Mabon. How I celebrate the Wheel of the Year, I do celebrate the 8 Sabbats, but my focus is more on Irish paganism, with some Welsh paganisms. That said, Mabon, was a term, coined for the autumn equinox in the 1970s. The mythological figure Mabon actually had absolutely nothing to do with the autumn equinox. And while I don't have any issues with people who continue to use Mabon for the autumn equinox, I personally prefer just to say the autumn equinox, or it maybe finding another name that fits. But yeah, that's just my personal opinion. So I did used to call it Mabon in the past because my practice was still very, I guess, Wiccan-esque. But now I've kind of shied away from that, and I really just call it the autumn equinox. But anyway, I don't mind that the oil says Mabon, but I don't call it that anymore. Let me see what it smells like. Oh, that smells real good. So the autumn equinox is actually one of my favorite Sabbats, and that's really because autumn is my favorite season. And I got married on the autumn equinox, and yeah, so I think of it as the time when I got married. So it's a very meaningful time of the year for me. Anyway, so I actually really like the smell of that oil. That smells great. All right, so we have our herbs, and this is very interesting because normally we normally get either 2 herbs and a tea or 3 herbs. However, in this box, we've got 3 herbs and a tea. So this is the Mabin Blend Herbal Tea with the tea bag. So I probably will have that on the autumn equinox. And now we have 3 herbs here, which I find very fascinating that they did the 3 herbs plus the tea. I don't know if they're going to keep doing that in future boxes, but that is pretty cool. And I'm pretty happy with that because, the more the merrier. So we have Rose Haw here, which is rose hips. We have chamomile. And we have Devil's Nettle, which is actually yarrow. So that's just a different name for yarrow. So yeah, so that's pretty cool. And also, which I find very fascinating, they really filled out this box, which I'm very happy for, because normally if we get an herb bundle, that's like that's the incense, and we don't get the incense, but we have incense and a big giant herb bundle, and I think it's rosemary. Oh yeah, definitely rosemary. So we have an herb bundle of rosemary, and we have this incense, which is called olibanum, and I don't know what that word means, but I'm sure the paperwork will describe what it is. So very, very cool to have this giant herb bundle and the incense. So the incense smells like very woodsy, almost not quite cedar, but like very woodsy, so, like a smell you would smell out in the woods. So there we go. All right, our candle is a nice like marigold color, which I really like. I'm glad they didn't put the natural color in again, because they did that in the last couple boxes, and I really like the colorful ones, the colorful candles. So very cool. I will probably use this candle for my autumn equinox ritual. Then we have the salt, and they put it in a bag this time as opposed to the little containers that they normally put it in. And I have to say that I prefer the containers. I just have a place to put them, and so for me personally, the containers were convenient. So I am really hoping that they don't switch to these bags for all of the salt containers. Again, that's just my personal opinion here, but I'm sure this smells lovely. I'm going to go ahead and open it. Alright, so it's not autumn equinox themed, because what they've been sending in each box is little containers that say the Sabbat on them. Oh, that smells good. And of course, I'm sure they would put Mabin on this, but yeah, so I probably will use this for my autumn equinox ritual. All right, so finally we have the big piece. So this has been a great box because there's so much in this. We have this gorgeous book, and it actually came in this big bag. So it came in this big bag. I just took it out. But this gorgeous hardcover, silver-edged, specifically made book for the Witch's Moon. And it says, "May the spirits of stones bring you comfort and companionship. Blessed be the Witch's Moon." So this is specifically made for the Witch's Moon. And this is very cool. I do know that in a previous box before I started getting the Witch's Moon boxes, when I was still getting just the Witch's Roots, they had Cunningham's Herb Encyclopedia, Magical Herbs. They had that specifically made, and I believe it had like gold edges, and oh my gosh, I so wanted that. But of course I wasn't getting the book, or I wasn't getting the box at that time, and they did sell the book on their site until supplies lasted, but I didn't get my chance to get it. And I'm real bummed about that, because it would have been a perfect companion to this. So, so I have, I know a lot of people don't like Scott Cunningham very much, or his work. I have a bit more of a complicated feeling about Scott Cunningham's work. I very much like his work. I understand that when we're viewing it from today's lens, there is an issue with potentially cultural appropriation. With I know he had some books on Hawaiian spirituality, which, you know, you can have your opinion on that. And I think we are kind of in a different time. We're more aware of those sorts of things now than we were. And a lot of those books a lot of those New Age books from the 90s or the early 90s, they, you know, they weren't great in that respect. And this isn't a whole video about Scott Cunningham and the nuances of everything there, but I just want to say that Scott Cunningham's work was hugely influential for me in my early years of paganism and witchcraft, and well, back then it was more Wicca. I haven't considered myself Wiccan for a very, very long time, but and Scott Cunningham's books weren't really Wicca in the sense that, you know, it depends on how traditional you are with Wicca. Yeah, because it is an initiatory religion, and he really started the whole non-initiatory aspect of Wicca, which became very eclectic and so, you know, shopping cart spirituality. And yeah, but with all that said, I would say that Scott Cunningham was one of my favorite pagan authors, or authors on witchcraft, when I started, and it was hugely influential. So I have feelings about Scott Cunningham's work. I don't think it's perfect. I think there's a lot of issues with it, like a lot of the books from the 90s. And yeah, but that's just my personal, you know, whatever. But this isn't a video about Scott Cunningham and the nuances of his work. But I do very much appreciate this. I do have this book, the regular softcover version. The middle part where all the not herbs, but the stones, this actually came out of my book. So I have them pulled out and washi taped them together. So I kind of have like this little separate book of just these, and left the rest in there. But so yeah, really excited to have this. This has been one of my favorite boxes from the Witch's Moon, for sure, because one, we get this exclusive hardcover book of a classic, which is excellent to have on my shelf, and we get 3 herbs and a tea, and we get a giant rosemary bundle plus the incense. And we've got a colorful candle, which I like. We have 4 pieces of artwork. Yeah, so I'm definitely a big fan of this box. Yeah, so thank you so much for watching, everyone. I hope you have a great month, and I will see you next time.